clothes on right now.
Why? You either care if men leer at me or not, and you made it clear that you don't, so what's the point?
I am not beating this guy up for you.
Then you better think of another way to get my pictures back, because if you don't, people in Wisteria Lane are going to be seeing a lot more of me. Ralph, Louise, feast your eyes!
The story begins a few days earlier. On this day, the gardener gave Gabby a mysterious gift. At first, Gabby was not interested at all, but when she opened the gift, she found a set of her own private photos inside. The moment Gabby saw the photos, she completely lost control. She immediately thought of her photographer ex-boyfriend Scott. To deal with this mess, Gabby chose to come clean to Carlos. She thought once Carlos knew the truth, he would handle everything, but to her surprise, Carlos was not angry at all. Instead, he believed the best move was to hire a lawyer. But the problem was Gabby had personally given him the photos, which meant there was no legal basis for a lawsuit. Seeing Carlos hesitate and refuse to act, Gabby quickly changed her strategy. She claimed Scott was a complete coward. She said if Carlos just scared him a little, Scott would delete all the photos. But Carlos refused immediately, because he was still on probation. From the day he got out of prison, he had sworn never to resort to violence again. Carlos' cold attitude made Gabby furious, so she decided to teach him a lesson. Early the next morning, she took off all her clothes in front of the gardener. Just as she expected, Carlos could no longer stay calm. He told the gardeners not to look, and ordered Gabby to put her clothes back on. But Gabby showed no sign of backing down. She warned Carlos that if he did not get the photos back, she would let everyone in town see her naked. This time Carlos finally gave in. Gabby thought the nightmare was finally over, but when they arrived at Scott's studio, Carlos changed his mind again.
I can't go in there. I thought I could, but I can't.
You promised.
Ever since I got out of prison, I've been trying to lead a better life. For the first time, I can honestly say that I'm a good Catholic, and I don't want to ruin that.
Or maybe you just don't love me as much as you used to.
Why can't you just let me be a good person? If you really loved me, you wouldn't even ask me to go in there.
If you really loved me, I wouldn't have to ask.
This was exactly what Gabby had expected. She pushed for a strategy that would work immediately. The next second, Carlos walked straight into the studio. After entering, Carlos introduced himself as Gabby's husband. Scott was surprisingly cooperative. Before Carlos could explain his purpose, Scott had already prepared all the photo negatives. Carlos was completely stunned. He had thought he would need to use his fists, but in reality he had overcomplicated everything. Just when Carlos felt relieved, Scott started talking nonsense.
What does that mean?
Well, the web's about fantasy, not fashion. I mean, guys surfing for porn, they don't care how the clothes are hanging off the body. They just want to see the goods. So, if little Miss Nasty ain't rocking some curves...
My wife has a perfect figure.
Don't get me wrong, our little Gabby knows how to work a runway, but when it comes to cyber loving, no real man's gonna waste tissue on that. There you go. That's all of them. So, we cool now?
At this moment, Gabby had been waiting outside for a long time. Just as she was about to go in to check, in the next second, Scott was thrown out by Carlos.
Now that's my guy.